I'm Nick Seco from HomeRight Windows and Doors, and we're located in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. So we do vinyl replacement windows, we do steel and fiberglass entry doors, we do aluminum storm doors, and we do sliding patio doors, all made by Provia. The windows are a vinyl replacement window, and it could be anything from double hungs to casements to bay and bow windows and everything in between. So when somebody calls in the office and needs an estimate, they get Roxanne on the phone typically, and she would schedule an appointment for me to come out and take some measurements, provide some literature, go through what options we have, and then I would follow up within about 24 to 48 hours with an estimate with all the details of the products as well as the installed price. I find that we're typically much more affordable than the companies that you see advertising on TV or in a lot of other places. If they're spending a lot of advertising dollars, obviously they're passing those costs on to their consumers. You could go to our website at homerightwaynesboro.com, or you could call us at 717-749-4874.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome back to Let's Talk TriState, all powered by HomeRight Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice winner in the 2024 Best of the TriState. Now, a regular guest that we do have on our show is Josh from Virtus Men's Health, and primarily what we've talked to Josh about is the men's aspect, obviously, of Virtus Men's Health, but we were so excited to learn that now there's a component for women. And Dana, you're going to tell us about that and what's being offered and your specialty. So let us know, what is your background?
Yeah, so I've been a nurse practitioner since 2006. Started out with some pain management and quickly changed my mind and went into women's health. So I worked with Summit/WellSpan now from 2007 to 2020 in the OBGYN space. So
really?
I've been doing a lot with women for a long time, and I'm very passionate about it and love it.
Are you from the area?
I am born and raised in Greencastle.
Okay.
Didn't really leave. Didn't go far.
I mean, it's
college and then back.
It's got everything you need right here.
Absolutely. I love it.
And Virtus is such a unique business. We've talked to Josh a lot. We've had him on the show a lot. And there's nothing like what he offers for men in the area.
Right.
And so I did not know. I know he had been talking about opening it up for women as well, but I didn't know that it occurred. So I'm anxious to hear about the services that you offer.
Yeah, sure. So it's kind of the same for women. There's not a whole lot in the area for women with this type of medicine as far as optimizing the hormones, optimizing health. I also help them with nutrition and making sure that it's a holistic approach, really. Mm-hmm. It's not just, hey, these are going to fix everything or this is going to fix everything. It's a multi-system approach in a way, or it is a multi-system, but it's a
like it's a packaging thing. Like you're doing.
It is. Mm-hmm. You can't just do one thing and expect great results. So the hormones are amazing and they are my favorite, but you also have to manage stress. You also have to move your body. You have to eat well. So it's not like these are going to be the cure-all to everything either, but they are amazingly beneficial to our longevity.
Now, I don't know a whole lot of this, so excuse me if these are ignorant questions. What happens that would cause a woman to need hormone injections or therapy?
No, that's a great question. So typically after the age of 35, we start our hormone descent, I call it, in a way. So we have estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. And the first one to really start declining is our progesterone. And then shortly after that, our estrogen will start declining more too. And testosterone kind of just follows suit along with that. Mm-hmm. But the estrogen, average age of women to go through menopause, and I can talk a little bit more about what perimenopause versus menopause is, but menopause average age is around 51, and that is when a woman has no period for 1 full year.
Okay.
Once they're 1 full year without a period, they're classified as menopause. Prior to that, you can go through it could be 4 to 12 years of what perimenopause. Mm-hmm. So
hot
flashes, night sweats, sleep difficulties, mood changes, decreased sex drive, skin changes, hair changes, Some women come in with like joint pain, and when they get their estrogen replaced, they feel better with that piece of things. So there's so many symptoms that are so vague in women, and they're a lot of times dismissed in their doctor's office because their labs look normal. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when I optimize their hormones and help them with other like nutrition piece and movement and water, some of the basic foundations, they really start improving and feeling much better. But typically after age 35, the hormones start to decline.
And how would somebody know, and maybe you just alluded to it, how would someone know that their hormones are declining?
Yeah, no, that's a great question too. So it's a very confusing thing for a lot of women. I feel like we're finally starting to get a lot more education out there and hearing more about perimenopause, menopause, but you can get lab work, but lab work isn't the exact, like, yes, you are or no, you're not. It won't tell you exactly. I go by looking at the lab work as a guide because it's super important to me to see where estrogen levels are, progesterone levels are, and then I go a lot by their symptoms too. So it is really kind of a double.
Yeah, you're not just
approach.
looking at what a blood test is. It's also a woman saying, well, this is what I'm experiencing and
right.
what I'm feeling.
Right, and what I've tried and what has worked, what hasn't worked, and all the things. So yeah, so there's not, the only way to classify menopause, like I said, was like that 1 full year without a period. But otherwise, the hormone decline and descent, it's really by how you're feeling. What are your symptoms telling me? But also, I do look at labs.
And then if you start to get a hormone, is it injections?
So there's multiple ways of doing it. There's creams, there's pills, there's patches, there's injections. Those are probably the most common ones that I use.
And then will you just determine the best route?
For them, yes.
For your clients?
It'll depend, too, on preference, absorption, what's in the evidence, what the risk factors are, benefits versus the risks, those type of things.
What might be something that a woman is experiencing that you, like if somebody were listening, and what would be something that they might be experiencing that you would say, that might be like that?
Really?
Yes, yeah.
I feel like I say to anything they say, like any symptom that they come with, whether it's the
sleep,
the mood, their periods are changing, like they're getting much heavier, or they're starting to be sporadic, which is very common when we start going through changes, but the heaviness can be a burden. So there are things that I can help them with that. So I get really excited about it because I'm like, I know that they're so frustrated because they're coming to me after doctors are kind of telling them there's nothing we can do. Yeah, and I feel for them, and there's no shame in that. We're not taught that in traditional medicine in a lot of ways. We're taught, like, here's the disease and here's how you manage it, not necessarily optimizing your health and hormones at that. So I'm really passionate about the optimizing piece of it. And so, like, when they say this and they say, I don't know what else to do, I'm like, oh, man, there's tons to do. I get really excited about being able to help them.
Have you ever had a situation where someone has come in thinking that maybe hormone optimization is a course for them, and you realize it's not going to work for them?
That's a great question. As of now, not yet. No. Like, I really feel like hormone, but also I offer like thyroid optimization. Thyroid is another big piece of that too. So there's a couple of different ways. So, man, that's a great question because I really don't. I feel like the hormone, no matter what it is, whether it's one hormone or you need all three hormones, there's it's pretty complex, and that's why you need a specialist to really help you with that. But I feel like any approach will involve either hormone or thyroid optimization, or really just getting to the root of like their nutrition and like how their stress is being managed. Because stress is a big factor in. We're all under a lot of stress.
Absolutely.
Right?
And it does wonky things to your body.
It does, and that's the thing. So I guess my point of all that was I'll replace their hormones and get their thyroid optimized, but they can't fully be optimized unless they really start managing stress too. Like, that is a big key factor in that. But then I have women are like, it's really hard to manage stress when they're feeling so crappy because their hormones are so depleted. So we at least get things boosted, and then they start feeling better. Then they're able to manage doing some of the other healthier things that they need for their body.
Talk to me about thyroid optimization. How would you, I don't know much about the thyroid. I know it an overactive or underactive can make you gain or lose weight.
Yeah,
and that's
it regulates a lot of like your body temperature and other symptoms too. So it is a picture to look at, especially with women if they're having hot flashes, night sweats too. I still like to see like, okay, how's your stress managed? Because cortisol can cause a lot of those symptoms too. So high cortisol all the time can cause hot flashes just like low estrogen can. But as far as thyroid goes, yeah, so if you're hyperactive, which means it's just constantly firing essentially, then you can get a lot of the, like you're feeling hot all the time, you can't gain weight, you're losing weight, and you feel like anxious and hyperactive all the time. And when it's hypoactive, then it's underacting, you can't lose weight, you're sluggish, constipation can be a big issue with that too. So optimization, what I mean by that is there's thyroid levels of like from this level to this level is normal, right? And so you really aren't getting treated unless it's outside of those windows. When I look at it, and I've kind of studied deeper into it, they give us a little bit more of a specific, smaller range of optimal.
Okay.
So say, from 0.5 to 5 is normal, but I really like it around that 1 mark. And so that's what I mean by optimizing. And that could be by treatment, that could be certain targeted supplements, and then, of course, other lifestyle factors that I address.
Is that the same as the hormone with the different, like, you can do injections, creams?
No, that one is primarily a pill.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a great question. Yeah.
How long have you been with Viridis?
So I'm just starting.
I was going to say, okay.
Yeah, so I was doing some hormone with the WellSpan Summit since 2015. I really dove into it. So I worked OBGYN from 2007 to 2020, but from 2015 to 2020, I was diving in and seeing some patients with the hormone aspect of things. And then I left in 2020 and started doing my own kind of health coaching, hormone replacement. So I currently have a practice that I'm doing that I'm closing to join Josh and kind of like have a colleague. And I think it's just going to be a great growth experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's such a beautiful facility as well.
Yeah,
it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you find that women are ever embarrassed to discuss hormones or lack of hormones? Is that ever a touchy subject?
Some of them, yeah. I think some particular symptoms they're kind of more embarrassed to talk about, which I bring it on because I'll talk about anything and I'm open to it. I feel like I have made women feel comfortable talking to me.
Yeah.
And all. So, yeah, sometimes, but I'd say more so they're just wanting to feel better.
Absolutely.
They just want to feel better.
If somebody were to do treatment for hormone optimization, how quickly can they start to see an improvement in their health?
Yeah, that's a good question. So typically, within 2 to 4 weeks, they can start seeing some changes.
That quickly, wow.
For like energy, sleep, and maybe the hot flashes. Now, when you're talking longer term stuff that if you've been dealing with it for a while, it'll take some time. So to really fully optimize, it can take a good year or so. So that's where close contact, and we have follow up every 3 months. I check their labs every 3 months. We tweak, we see where we're at. It's accountability, making sure we're on the right path with that. But yeah, you can start feeling better within those times, but you're not going to be the optimal.
But I think that's hopeful. Because sometimes you do a course of treatment and you don't see anything for 6-8 months, you know what I mean? And you kind of want to give up. So it's nice to have that some kind of, okay, yeah, this is going well, this is working, to stick with it and keep the momentum going.
Absolutely, I agree. And that's where what we offer is just more of a concierge service of please contact me in between the 3-month visits. I'm here for you to if you're not feeling anything within the first 4 weeks, let me know. And we can look at what's going on. Let's change something. What's happening? Women have to invest in their health too.
Sure.
So they have to make some changes themselves too. Because, like I said, these hormones are awesome, but they're not the end all be all either. So.
And I think this is so interesting. We've talked a lot with Josh about testosterone and how if sex is important in a relationship, and how that can be very difficult on a man if they're experiencing any issues in that department, but I think it could be equally as frustrating for a woman as well.
Absolutely.
And so I think this is really, I'm really happy that you guys have joined forces. I think you have something pretty awesome going on there.
Yeah, and to touch base on that with the sex drive. The hormones will help with the sex drive, but vaginal dryness is a big issue for pain with sex.
Absolutely.
And there's vaginal estrogen can be very, very beneficial. For that. Very beneficial. I've seen such great outcomes with that as far as regenerating the vaginal health, and then not only sex but other things.
Everything's that's wow. Are any of these services covered by insurance?
Not typically.
Okay.
Yeah, not traditionally. Sometimes, but there's different approaches to it. We don't accept the insurance, and a lot of times it's because we're looking at optimization and not necessarily there's not a deemed problem. So
because it's more holistic, like you said earlier. Type.
It is, but it's back and forth because there are some hormones that can be covered by insurance, and there's certain providers that may be able to help with that if they need to go that route, for sure.
I can imagine that a lot of people that maybe are going to walk through your door have already been to the doctors multiple times, and they're Googling on the internet, I don't know what else to do, and then boom, estrogen or hormone, thyroid, something's going to pop up, and okay, this is great, but where do I go to get this?
Yeah. And I've had a lot of women that have come to me that their docs won't give them. They won't give them the medicine. So.
Do you have a client base already built up?
I do.
That's amazing because
I'm practicing currently.
Okay.
So I have my own practice currently, and I just decided to close it and join forces. It just feels good.
Yes, I'm really excited for the future of Veritas, and I think you and Josh are going to do great things in the area and really help a lot of people, especially with issues that can be embarrassing and you don't want to talk about. And so we're really glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would want to cover or discuss that I did not ask you about in regards to Veritas and what you're doing there?
Yeah, so, it was pretty much it. The hormones are a big component of this, thyroid optimization, and also do weight loss piece of things.
Yes.
So there are the weight loss medications, a lot of education to go around that. So there's a lot to do.
I think everybody's just jumping on Ozempic or semaglutide.
Yeah, so I have, there's a right way and a wrong way, in my opinion, on how to do that. So I guess that's why I was hesitated a little bit, because I love those medications when they're done right. They work, they do really well for women, and it just has to be the right approach, meaning I don't want them to have all these nasty side effects. Like if you go slow and low and then work on the food portion and exercising, that's the most
and not just use it as a quick fix. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do this, lose some weight, and not change or do anything to also help me
because
with
you're
my
damaging
health.
yourself more that way.
Right.
It is so damaging, and I see it all the time. And so I'm really passionate about hey, it's not off the table, but we have to do it the right way.
There's a time and a place for it.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. So.
How can people find you?
Yeah, so they can go to VertusHealthOptimization.com. He's rebranding it.
I was going to say it can't be Men's Health anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not Men's Health, but women may feel a little intimidated by that in the beginning while we're in the process of the rebranding. But they can go to Hormone Health. No, excuse me.
No, you're fine.
Vertus Health
Optimization.
Yeah. I was getting ready to say my current practice, but yeah.
And also, the last thing I want to say here is, I know just from being there, walking into that facility, I mean, it doesn't feel doctor office-y. It just feels like I'm here hanging out with my friend Dana. We're going to talk about our health. You know, it just has a really, really nice feel to it.
And I appreciate that. In my current office, I'm in a spa. So, I had a space in a spa because I didn't want that doctor's office feel, too. So I really appreciated what he has. It's very luxury and nice.
Well, wonderful. Thanks for taking time to talk to us today on Let's Talk TriState.
Thank you.
Of course. Coming up, we will be right back with Let's Talk TriState, and it's all powered by WellSpan, winner of the American Hospital Association's Quest for Quality Award, online at wellspan.org.
Let's talk TriState.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk TriState, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.